We are now live. Welcome everyone who's watching this on replay. And in a moment, I'm going to start welcoming the people who are watching this live. If you are watching this on Facebook, what up? This is Dre all day, coming to y'all live from Work on Your Game University. Work on Your Game University campus in beautiful Miami, Florida. Even though it's been kind of cloudy today, but I can't complain, man. We had beautiful weather for 3 straight weeks, even though everybody was supposed to be locked in the house during that period. As y'all come in, tell me your name and location. Let's get to it. Name and location. Let's get to it. It's a new week. It's a new day. That means we all got a new opportunity. No complaining. No excuses. We all got a new opportunity right now. As y'all coming in, tell me your name and location. Ramon from Norway with the first comment. Congrats. Grenadian. I know I'm mispronouncing your name. Prince, what's good? Tell me your name and location as y'all come in. Young G Tokyo, what's good? Been doing a ball handling and lifting weights. That's what's up. Shout out to everybody who's finding a way to do that work. Mattia Vabech, am I pronouncing that right? That right? Where you located at, Mattia? I need to know the location. Glenn from Iowa. Shout out to Iowa. Shout out to Middle America. Homestead, Florida. What's good, Homestead, Florida? Shout out to Cutler Bay, Cutler Ridge. Everybody down there. Brandon, Pensacola. Drew from North Dakota. Andy from LA. James from Houston, Texas. So as y'all can see, we got damn near the whole United States covered already. Who here is from outside the United States? If you're from inside the United States, tell me your name and location. We're going to get started in a moment. All I'm doing is pulling up what we're going to talk about today. You already see the topic. Learn fast or die. Those are your two options. All right, there is no alternative. There is no plan C. Learn fast or die. Those are only options in life. And I'm going to explain why that is. We're going to get into this topic in one moment. I'm just pulling up a couple notes that I want to make sure I get to here today. I hope y'all had a great Monday. Hope everybody had a great weekend, which you should have because you caught my 2 lives that I did on Saturday and Sunday. John from Kentucky, what's going on? For those of y'all who don't know me, I don't know how you on my live but don't know me, but if you don't, it's all right. You're still in the right place. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day. I am a former 9-year professional athlete now. I'm an author, entrepreneur, keynote speaker, and Uber publisher of content. I've written 25 books. You could buy any one of them. I'll tell you where to buy them later on, including this book right here called Work on Your Game. This is using the pro athlete mindset to dominate your game in business, sports, and life. This is the framework of what I teach. Everything I do is around this framework, using the mindset to be a pro athlete and applying it to your life, to your business, and to your sport. So everything that I talk about falls under the umbrella of this right here. This just happens to be the book version. I got a podcast by the same name. I got a whole lot of other stuff going on by the same name. Who is that? 31 Glenny said he just got that overseas basketball blueprint. Well, I got it too. So I got it right here. You got it. I got it. We all got it. And you didn't get it in the mail yet. It's coming. Trust me. What else we got going on? I've written 25 books. I published over 7,000 YouTube videos, 6,000 blog posts, 1,400 podcast episodes. I've done probably 1 million live streams. I don't even know how many. I lost count. And I've touched the lives of over 50 million people since I started creating content back in 2005. Those are all facts, everything I'm telling you here. And today, we're going to start getting in touch with even more people as we get into what we're talking about here today. Today's topic is learn fast or die. That is the topic. All you understand, everybody here understands what learning is. And I talked about self-education a couple of lives ago. If you didn't hear that one, then you can catch it on YouTube where I talked about it many times. Or you can go to that link, Work on Your Game University, where you can get my everyday masterclass. If you like what you're about to get right now or what I've been doing on these lives, you'll love the masterclass that I do every single day. All right, and that's at Work on Your Game U. I give you free access right now if you go to Work on Your Game University. Now, why are we talking about what I'm talking about right now is because of this. If you do not learn quickly in life, if you're a slow learner, some people are just slow to pick up on things. Some people are slow to implement new information. Some people, you get them some information, they're like, I don't get it. Could you explain that again? I don't quite understand. Or they just take too long to do something with it, to put information into action. In early life, like in school, everybody will slow down and wait for you to catch up. In real life, quote unquote, everything else, the world does not slow down for you to catch up. And everything I talk about here today, I will take questions at the end of the stream and make sure the questions are relevant to the topic. Because if not relevant to the topic, then I'm not answering them. But what we're going to talk about as we get even deeper into this subject, I haven't even gotten into my points yet. You need to understand what the terms are, terms of engagement when it comes to learning, when it comes to implementation, when it comes to taking new information and doing something valuable with it. If you don't do that, if you're not a quick study in life, our life will leave you behind. Because if you look around in our world now, things are changing faster than they've ever changed in any period ever of life. Things are as fast as they've ever been today, and a month from now, things are going to be changing even faster. So if you don't keep up, then the world doesn't slow down. Again, they say, the saying is, I don't talk fast. If I talk fast, you got to listen fast, so I don't have to slow down for you to catch up. All right, the world ain't slowing down for you to catch up. All right, point number one is this: adjust, adapt, and move with the flow of the times. In school, any of y'all in school, remember, if there was a student in class, maybe it was you, maybe it was someone else, who raises their hand, the teacher's teaching, they say, does anybody not understand what I'm talking about right now? And somebody raises their hand and says, I don't understand. And then the teacher says, well, what part do you not understand? And then somebody, when I was in school, somebody would be like, I don't understand any of it. I don't understand all of it. Everything's going over my head. I don't get it. And then what the teacher had to do? The teacher had to stop what they were doing, stop the forward progress of the lesson, go over to that student and give their individual attention to that person, or the assistant teacher or one of the other classmates who understood it could go talk to them. But somebody had to give some direct, individualized attention to this one slow individual who was learning slowly. Not necessarily that they're slow as a person or something wrong with them, but because they weren't keeping up with the rest of the class, everything had to stop so that one person could catch up, so everybody could be on the same page. All right, that's why school was known as standardized learning. They try to teach everybody at the same pace with the exact same information, even though we're all unique, all different, we all learn differently, and we all don't need the exact same information. But this is the way school was set up, which is a different conversation for a different day. But here's the thing: in school, they'll do that. In school, they'll slow down and wait for you to catch up. In school, if you don't learn at the normal pace as all the other students, they'll put you in a different class where they'll teach at a pace that you do learn at. The school is set up to make sure that no one gets left behind. That's the whole purpose of school. That's why they got social promotion. That's why they got report cards. That's why they have parent-teacher conferences. Everything is set up to make sure everybody moves along at the exact same pace. Here's the problem with everybody moving at the exact same pace. Number one, the people who are slow slow learners are expected to keep up with everyone else who learns at a different pace. So then they get this stigma on them as if they're dumb or something's wrong with them because they just don't learn the same way that everybody else learns. It doesn't necessarily mean there's anything wrong with them. It just means they don't learn the way that other people do. And everybody's unique. So wouldn't it make sense that some people are going to be different? Wouldn't that just make sense? And number two, the people who learn quickly, like when I was in school, I was a person who learned rather quickly. I was able to adapt and understand and implement information rather quickly. It didn't make me a great student because I didn't really apply myself that much in class, but I understood the information very easily. So then I could goof off and bullshit in class and still do enough work to get a C. That's the kind of student that I was. I'm not telling you to do that, but I'm just telling you what it was. So a person who's a fast learner, somebody like myself, I can't even learn at the pace that I really want to learn at because I get slowed down by all these other mofos in the class who learn slower than me, and I'm sitting there bored like, yo, do y'all not understand this shit? I'm ready to learn the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, but I got to sit there and wait. So the people who learn quickly got to slow down, and the people who learn slowly got to be forced to speed up. So it's not good for anybody. The only people school works for are the average individuals. But I'm not here to rail against school. I guess I've already done enough of that. But the point that I want you to understand is that in life, it ain't like school. See, in school, they'll slow down to make sure everybody's learning at the same pace. In life, nobody slows down. In life, nobody will wait to make sure you got it. Nobody will make sure you understood it. I knew this dude once. He was like, when he first started in his work, the kind of business that he was doing, he said, my mentor came to me and said, look, I'm going to show you how to do this job one time. I want you to watch what I do. I'm going to show you what I'm doing. I'm going to talk you through what I'm doing, but I'm only going to show it to you one time ever. And if you don't get it, you just don't get it. And if you end up out of a job and you get ran out of here, you just get ran out of here. But I'm not teaching you this more than once. One time, you better get it. And that guy said, you know what, Dre? I got it. And that one time, because he didn't have a choice but to get it. If he didn't get it, then he probably would have been out of the industry. He wouldn't have a job because he wouldn't know what the hell he was doing. In life, nobody slows down for you to catch up. In life, oftentimes, people don't even stop to give you individual attention to teach you what's going on. They just say, look, either you get it or you don't. All right, the train is leaving the station with or without you on it. All right, so when I wrote this book right here, one example, this book right here, I wrote this book to help people who couldn't figure out the information on their own. You probably won't, because there ain't no information out there. All the information out there came from me. All right, that's why I wrote the book. All right, you see my name's on it. I wrote this book to help people to understand what's going on. You still got to take this and implement it and get some value out of it and use it so that you can get the result that you want to get. I'm just using that as an example. But I want y'all to understand this first point. You must adjust to situations as they change. You must adapt new information and new knowledge as you acquire it. And you got to move with the flow of the times, which means the way that things work right now is cool. This is the way that it works. Everybody knows about it. But one day in the future, and ain't gonna be it might not be a Facebook. It might not be an Instagram anymore. It might not be live streaming anymore. It's gonna be something else. And people like myself and people like yourself, we got to keep up with what's going on, and we got to adjust to the times. If we don't adjust to the times don't call us. The times don't send us a letter. The times don't send us a text and say, yo, you know the times change, right? You better change with them. No, the times will just move on, and you're gonna be the person looking like 10 years ago, still doing the old thing that doesn't work anymore. That's the way that it works in life. All right, school will slow down for you. Life does not slow down for anybody. All right, it just leaves the slow learners in the dust. Point number 2, slow learners don't last. If you're a slow learner in life, you just will not last. Okay, now I'm not telling you that as if to say that there's something wrong with you because you learn more slowly than other people. And I'm not talking about the school type of learning. I'm talking about any type of learning. Because see, when you're in school, there's a teacher in the front of the room, and there's a textbook that you got to learn from, and there's a certain material that they have to teach, certain material that you have to learn whether you're interested in it or not. But in life, you don't have any of those problems. All right? All of those regulations are gone in life. In life, you can learn whatever you want. You can learn it however you want, and you can learn from whomever you want. So if you want to learn about a basket weaving, you can do that. You want to learn about basketball, you can do that. You want to learn about YouTubing, you can do that. You want to write books, you want to be an architect, you want to start your own garbage collection company, you can do any of the things that you want to do. Nobody is forcing you to learn anything, and you can learn it however you want. You like reading books? Go to Amazon, go to the library. You like watching video? Excuse me, we got YouTube. You like listening to audio? Our people got audio courses, we got podcasting, and we got audio books. So whatever way you prefer learning is available. Whatever format you like, whatever subject you like, and whoever you want to learn from. Or you like learning from a man, there are men out there teaching. You like learning from a female, there are females out there teaching. You like learning in a group setting with like 10 people, they got that. You want to learn amongst 1 million people, they got that. You want to learn one-on-one, you can hire somebody, you can do that. Whatever way you want to learn, you can get it. So there's no excuse for being a slow learner, a slow adapter, and a slow implementer in quote-unquote real life. Again, school was set up for everybody to be the same. Life is set up for everybody to be unique. So if you're still failing when you're free to do whatever it is you want to do, all right, now we can't blame the school. You can't blame the education system. You can't blame the government. You can't blame your parents. You can't blame the teacher. You got to blame yourself. And while you're blaming yourself, the rest of the world is moving on and leaving your ass behind. All right. After the first time you can't catch something in life, ain't nobody slowing down again. The first time people might slow down and be like, all right, you don't get it? All right, let me explain it again. Let me tell you this. Let me tell you that. They'll make sure that you're caught up. But after the first time, they're like, all right, this just might not be for you. Now, you might be in the wrong line of work. You might be in the wrong place. And you got to move on. And everybody else is just going to keep going if you don't keep up with the pace of what everybody else is doing. This happens in the sports world. This happens in business. This happens in any kind of relationship, any form of communication. If you don't keep up with the pace of what's going on, even if those people have been in the game 10 years, you just got here today. If you can't keep up, it's a wrap. You're just going to get left behind, and that's pretty much it. You ever watch National Geographic? You know those shows where they show like the lion or the cheetah, and they're chasing the gazelles or what's the other animals they chase? The warthogs or the buffalo, and they try to kill one so they can eat. You ever watch one of those shows? Now, what do they chase? When the lions are watching all the gazelles and they're looking for one to kill so they can eat it, first of all, they lay low in the grass, right? And then they try to identify one of the gazelles that they can hunt down and kill. But which one do they always target? They always target the gazelle that's either young, which means they're not that fast yet, so they can't get away as quickly as the adult gazelles, or they challenge one that's really old, which means it's not as fast anymore, or they challenge one that looks like sick, which means it doesn't have the energy to get away. What are the lions doing? They're targeting the ones that can't move as fast as everybody else. And the ones that can't move as fast as everybody else, you know what usually happens to them? They don't get time to adjust. They don't get time to adapt. They don't get time to learn. You know what happens to them? They get killed. They get eaten. All right, they become prey. All right, they're the reason that the lions can keep living, because they're too slow to keep up with everyone else. All the healthy adult gazelles, what they do, they get away from the lion. The lion can't catch them. The healthy adult buffalo, the lion can't kill them. They're too strong. They'll kill one of the lions. The lion jump on the wrong one of them. The lion don't attack the healthy ones that are moving quickly and at a pace with the whole rest of the group. The lions attack the stragglers. They attack the slow learners. They attack the ones that can't keep up. And it's the same thing that happens in life. You're not going to have a lion attack you and kill you, hopefully. But what's going to happen is life is going to slowly destroy you, because every day you're slowly falling further and further behind the pack, until eventually you're not even recognized as a member of the pack, because you're so far behind them. People are like, what connection do you have to them? They all the way up there, you all the way back here. You ain't part of that pack. I ain't never seen you there. I can't tell. That's what happens in life when you can't keep up. Same thing that happens to the gazelle that can't keep up. After the first time, everybody moves on. Self-education, ladies and gentlemen, is your job. Whatever line of work you're in, if you find that you have a steep learning curve, there's a lot that you need to learn, and you don't know what's going on, it's your job to find out what's going on. And it's your job to adjust and adapt and then catch up to speed. As Kobe Bryant used to say, get your ass in gear. If you're not in gear, Kobe ain't slowing down to make sure you understand. Kobe's going to say, yo, get him off the team. All right, put him on the bench. Put somebody in the game who knows what they're doing. This is the way that it works, people. I've had athletes come to me and they'll say something like, Dre, I made my high school team or my college basketball team, and it's the first team that I played for in a while, or my first team. I haven't played in a system like this before, and I don't really understand the plays. I don't understand how they're running the plays, or I don't understand how a player will say to me, like, I don't know what it means when the coach says I need to move without the ball, or I don't understand when the coach is telling me to do stuff and he's giving me these certain terms, I have no idea what he's talking about, and then he yells at me because I'm not doing the stuff that he's telling me to do, but I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know what to do, Dre. What am I supposed to do in this situation? And this is what I tell players every time. I say, it's your job to know what's going on. It's your job to understand those terms. It's your job to know what the plays are. It's your job to find out what is it that the coach wants and start doing it. And it's not the coach's job to give you his or her individual attention to make sure you get it. Because guess what? There are 13, 12, 10 other people on the team who will gladly take all your playing time if you can't figure it out. You see, the coach doesn't need you to figure it out. The coach will like you to figure it out, but if you don't, guess what? There's plenty of players who will take your spot. We don't need you. Y'all understand that? Life don't slow down for you. So if you don't understand what's going on, like I would tell an athlete, listen, pull one of your teammates aside who knows what's going on and ask them, yo, can you explain to me how this play works? Can you tell me what the coach means when he says this and this? And today, look, you go on damn YouTube and Google this stuff. You can look this stuff up. What does it mean to cut off the ball? What does it mean when the coach says run a pick and roll? How do you play the flex or the motion offense? The coach expects you to know it, but he never taught it. How do you do these things? You can look these things up and get this information. Self-education is your job. Your number one job, and it's your first job and it's your last job all the time in life, ladies and gentlemen. Figuring things out is your job. Understanding what's going on, your job. So if you don't understand what's going on, it's your job to figure it out. All right, life will leave you behind if you don't. So if you raise your hand and say, I don't understand what's going on, that only works in school, like high school, elementary school, middle school, maybe in college. It might work in college. In college, it might not even work. In college, this professor might say, yo, come to my office hours, read the syllabus, read the textbook. You paid $65 for the textbook. You know you're only going to get $7 back at the end of the semester, but read the textbook. You bought it, didn't you? Get the information. Go on Google. The professor in college might not even slow down for you to catch up. All right, adults who use I don't understand, all right, they end up out of a job or broke or with no clients. All right, that's how it goes. Ask if you're not an adult, go ask one. They'll tell you. Point number 3, self-study. This is something that you got to do outside of your work. See, if you want to be a professional at what you do, you don't have a 9 to 5. All right, everybody's heard of a 9 to 5, right? You show up at a certain time, and when that time is up, you leave, and then you could go to the beach. You can go hang out with your kids. You go watch Netflix. You can go browse on Amazon. You can go watch YouTube. You go bullshit and laugh at TikTok videos. You could do that when you have a 9 to 5. If you want to be a professional, you want to get to the top of what you do. If you want to get to the top, self-study is what you do before 9 and after 5. Okay? That's the 5 to 9 is your self-study. That's the work that you do even when you're not, quote unquote, on the clock or specifically getting paid for that time. That's the time that you put in if you want to get ahead of everybody else. If you want to. Now, if you don't want to get ahead of everybody else and you're all right with just being average and just being one of the group, is all good. You could do that. But if you want to be ahead, you got to do extra. All right. Any athletes who are watching this, you understand this. Athletes understand this, that you can't just, when I first started playing ball, I talked about it in my book, Work on Your Game, this book right here. When I first started playing ball, everybody in the neighborhood was better than me at ball. So I was like, and nobody explained this to me. And there was no YouTube. This is the mid 90s we talking. There was no YouTube videos for me to look at. But I realized, all right, if everybody's better than me, and everybody comes to the park at like 6 o'clock every night and plays pickup, I did too. I was like, all right, how am I ever going to catch up to these guys or become better than them if they're playing every minute that I'm playing? If I'm playing 2 hours a day and they're playing 2 hours a day, that means we're all getting better by 2 hours every day. How am I ever going to catch up to them? I can't catch up to them if I'm doing the same work that they're doing. I got to do more work than them in order to catch up to them. And if I'm going past them, I got to do more work than that. So what I started doing is coming to the courts in the middle of the day when it was hot as shit. It'd be like 9 in the morning until like 3 in the afternoon, when the hottest part of the day in the middle of the summer. And that's when I would work on my game. Wouldn't be anybody else out there because it was too hot. And that's when I would put my work in. And that's how I start slowly catching up to everybody. And then eventually I started passing them. And then eventually didn't even notice it was a competition because I built so much of a gap between them. That whole principle, I call that the third day. I did a whole chapter on that in this book right here called Work on Your Game, if you don't know about that. And I also talk about it in this book, and I'm going to tell you about this in a minute. I'm giving you all that for you to understand this. And this is when I was an amateur. This is when I'm 14, 15, 17 years old. Now, you're 22, you 37, you 50, and you want to get ahead in your profession and whatever it is you do. I don't care if you write books, if you work in a factory with a bunch of other people, if you're an athlete, if you're an Instagrammer doing live streams, you got to do more than everybody else is doing if you want to get ahead of everybody else. You can't do the same work as everyone else and then think that you're just going to jump the crowd. How? You think because of talent? Probably not. You think because of luck? You can't depend on luck. Michael Jordan, and in about a week and a half, they're putting out that Michael Jordan / Chicago Bulls series on Netflix, right? About the Chicago Bulls last season. And y'all know that Michael Jordan's one of my favorite athletes. I did a virtual mentors episode on him. I think it was masterclass number 1217 at Work on Your Game University. And Michael Jordan, when he first got to the University of North Carolina, you know, he's from Carolina. He got recruited to UNC. And it was a big deal because UNC was a big-time program 40 years ago when Michael Jordan arrived there. And no, of course he wanted to prove that he could play there because some people thought, you this small town player, you're not going to do nothing in North Carolina. So Jordan wanted to prove that he was going to do something. And this is before he was Jordan. And the assistant coach at UNC at that time was Roy Williams. All right, this is Roy Williams when he was an assistant. That's before he went to Kansas and coached and before he came back to be the coach at UNC. This is 1980. And he came to Michael Jordan and he said, you know, Michael, if you're going to excel here at North Carolina, you're going to have to work a whole lot harder than you worked when you were in high school. And Michael Jordan said to Roy Williams, he said, Coach, no problem. Look, I'm going to work just as hard as everybody else on the team. And Roy Williams said, well, Michael, I thought you said you wanted to be better than everybody else. I thought you said you wanted to excel. I thought you said you wanted to rise above everyone else. Because if you do, you got to do more than everyone else is doing. You can't do the same as everybody else on the team if you're going to be better than everybody else on the team. So it's the same for all of y'all out there. You got to do extra push-ups. You got to write. You want to be an author, you got to write some extra chapters. You want to be an influencer, you got to put in some extra time. You want to be a podcaster, you got to record more stuff every single day. Whatever it is you want to do, look around at what it looks like everybody else is doing, and you got to put in more work than that. You got to get more information than what they have. You got to put in more time than they're putting in. Now, make sure you know what you're doing in that time. Don't just put in time just to say you put in time. You got to put in time purposefully. Know what the hell you're doing. Get some help if you need it. Go buy somebody's course. Go sign up for somebody's membership. Go read somebody's book so you got the right information. All right. So you don't want to be putting a whole bunch of time but not knowing what the hell you're doing. That's just a waste of energy. That's a waste of resources. Make sure you got the right information and put that extra time in so that you're getting yourself ahead of everybody else in your group. Everybody else in your field, your industry, your line of work, whatever it is that you got going on. You cannot do the same as what everyone else is doing if you want to get ahead of everybody else. Again, in the athletic world, this is something that inherently a lot of us understand because we hear all the stories about these athletes. This guy showed up earlier than everybody else. He stayed at the practice. This guy spent all this money on his body. This person hired their own personal trainer. We hear about it in sports, but understand this applies in everything. It is not just about sports. In the business world, this applies. It applies in, again, if you want to write books, if you want to make computers, if you want to be a technologist, if you want to be a politician, All of them are putting in extra work to make sure that they get ahead of their competition. But again, extra work knowing what they're doing. Not just random extra work knowing what the hell you got going on. And this is, again, do I need to say this again? I will. It is your job. It's not your boss's job to put you on the game. It's not your family member's job. It's not your mentor's job. It's not anybody else's. Anybody else you can name who you think is responsible for you getting ahead. It is your job. And if you don't get ahead, you're the only person you have to blame. Now, with all that being said, I'm going to recap this topic. Then I'm going to take questions. And then I'm going to tell you about a couple of my books that I got right here to my right, and you'll see about them in a minute. So let me recap this topic. The topic here, as y'all watching this, is learn fast or die. If you got a question, go ahead and post it in the comments. I'm going to address all questions right now. Make sure they're relevant to the topic. And if they're not, then I'll tell you where you can get the information. Today's topic is you got to be a quick study. If you do not learn fast, you will get left behind. And when you get left behind in the animal kingdom, the cheetahs and the lions and the wolves and the hyenas, all right, they will eat you for dinner, literally eat you for dinner. Number one, you must adjust, adapt, and move with the flow of times. As things change, you got to change. And if things change and you didn't know about it, it's not anybody's responsibility to inform you. It's your job to stay informed. Number two, slow learners do not last. In school, you can raise your hand and tell the teacher you don't understand. Everything stops while you catch up. In life, that does not happen. In life, if you aren't caught up with the group, or you're not catching up or keeping up pace with the times will keep going, and you will still be in the past. And it'll just be like that until you die, and the game will just end, and nobody will know your name. That's the way that it goes. All right, it's a cold, harsh world out this bitch. Figuring out what's going on is your job. It's your job to self-educate and keep up to speed with what is going on. If you don't know what's going on, you better find out what's going on. All right, 3 types of people in the world: those who know what happened, those who want to know what happened, and people who make things happen. Which group are you going to be in? I don't understand gets you no sympathy in the adult world, in the business world. Point number 3, do your own self-study. All right, you got to do extra work. If you don't know how to run plays on a basketball team, it's your job to pull one of your teammates or the assistant coach aside and say, hey, coach, can you help me understand how these plays work? Because I have no idea what's going on. Or pull one of your teammates aside and say, yo, the coach keeps telling me he needs me to do this and this, but I don't even know what he's talking about. Can you help me understand what this is? And make them stay there with you until you understand exactly what they're talking about. It's your job to figure this out. You can't be uninformed in this life and then say, well, I didn't know. I didn't know is not a viable excuse in 2020, ladies and gentlemen, or any year after this. All the information is out there. YouTube, Instagram, Google, Facebook, all the information is available. All right, so if you ain't got the information, you have no one to blame. All right, because you out here bullshitting, scrolling through, looking at fitness models on Instagram and TikTok and wasting time when you should be getting the information that's going to help you get ahead. You do the things you need to do to get ahead. All right, people are going to be looking at you instead of you looking at them. Now, if anybody got questions, make sure you post it in the comments. And let me tell you about these 2 books right here. This is a free book, The Mirror of Motivation, Self-Guide to Self-Discipline. You can get this book at mirrorofmotivation.com so you can develop the self-discipline and light that fire within you, which will mean you can start doing what you want to do in life and being who you actually want to be and who you need to be so you can reach the goals that you have set for yourself. Because everyone listening to this, you have goals. If you haven't reached them yet, it's not because you're not doing something. It's because of who you are not being as a person. When you fix who you're being, the things that you do will automatically change. This book will help you do that, which means you will actually start living out the vision that you have for yourself in life. That's at mirrorofmotivation.com. For those of you who want to play basketball overseas, I wrote this book, The Overseas Basketball Blueprint. Start your professional basketball career abroad now. That's the subtitle. You get this book so you can play professional basketball overseas, which should be motivation enough. But what does that mean? You actually get to live out your dreams, do what 99% of people never do, which is play professional sports for a living. You get to travel the world, and you get paid to play basketball. If there's a better job than getting paid to travel the world and play basketball, somebody tell me what it is. I don't know. I never had a job better than that. If there is one, y'all let me know. If you want that job, go to balloverseas.com. I will ship you this book. You don't have to pay for it. I've already paid for it. Take care of the shipping for this book or this book. I will ship it to you worldwide. Does not matter where you live. As long as you have an address, you can get that book. And this right here is my book, Work on Your Game. This is my whole framework. If you like what you just heard here today and what I talk about every day, this is the whole framework where it comes from. I condensed it down into 250 pages. My entire business and life philosophy is in this book right here. You can get this at workonyourgamebook.com. It's on Amazon. If you get it at workonyourgamebook.com, I got bonuses that you cannot get on Amazon. You can't get on iBooks. You can't get on Audible. You can only get it if you go to workonyourgamebook.com. But it's your choice. It's your money. Now, Let me see what we got going on in terms of questions. If we have any questions, I think I might have saw a question or two come through here. Oh, man. Let's see. I hope everybody is staying socially distanced from everybody if y'all out here in these streets. All right, don't be shaking anybody's hand or nothing like that. Don't get too close to people that you don't know. You know, somebody come up to you, offer to shake your hand, don't shake it. All right, let's see. 31 Glenny, I appreciate it. Duke Holiday, what's good? Don Rady, what up? Two Fly Honcho, what's going on? Saleh D. Kaidek, I know I'm mispronouncing your name. If I focus on basketball with high standards, if I don't make it, would I still go far in life? I don't know. I can't answer that question. You're going to have to do it and find out. I mean, I'm not a psychic. I can give you the frameworks as I just explained to you, but I can't predict your life. You should be asking that question of yourself rather than asking somebody else to tell you how far you're going to go in life. You got to determine that. C-Lord G1, what's going on? C3 Legacy B3, what up? C. Chlor G1 says, do you have any mentors you look up to? Yeah, I've done 5 virtual mentors episode on my masterclass called Work on Your Game. You could get to it by going to that link that's in the pinned comment, Work on Your Game University. And you can listen to all of those. I got a whole category just for those virtual mentors episodes. You can listen to it and find out all about who they are and why they are. $1, what's going on? AV Mania says, how do I deal with depression? Well, that question is very broad. If you could be more specific, I might be able to tell you some things. But one thing I could tell you is, I don't know, you might need to see a licensed practitioner who might be able to help you with that. That's not necessarily my area of expertise, but it really depends on, you know, what you got going on. $1 from Dalton, Georgia. Yeah, I remember your name. I know who you are. Well, I remember your name. I can't say I know who you are, but I remember your name. I appreciate you. All right. So everybody, balloverseas.com, get the overseas basketball blueprint. Mirrormotivation.com. Mirrorofmotivation.com. Get the Mirror of Motivation. Both of these books free. Just take care of the shipping. I will ship these worldwide. Anywhere that you live. You want my whole framework? Go to that link down there in the pinned comment. Work on Your Game University. That's where you get my free, not free, but full everyday masterclass. Your first 2 weeks are free accessing the game group membership, which is at Work on Your Game University. What else I need to tell you? I got a lot of other stuff to offer, but let's just start with that. All right, I want you to start with those. Those are your entry points. Go to Work on Your Game University. You can get my masterclass. I do this every single day by audio, and I get notes out. A lot of what I talk about here is just off the top, but if you think this is good, imagine what I do when I got time to plan it and prepare what I'm going to say. I've done over 1,400 masterclasses. You get access to all of them by going to workonyourgameuniversity.com. So you can get in that way. You can get in this way through this book. You can get in this way through this book. All of them are free. So all you got to do is go to the link, put in your information, tell me where to ship the book, or get access to those master classes, and I got you. So I'm letting you get in as easily as possible. I'm trying to make it as easy as possible for you to get your foot in the door of this whole Work on Your Game philosophy, so it ain't no excuses. All right. Everybody, have a great Monday. I will be going live again tomorrow. Go to my Facebook/Work on Your Game. That's where I got the schedule of every live that I'm going to be doing. It's going to be going indefinitely until I say it ain't going no more. We're going to be going live. Everybody, work on your game. Dre all day. Keep your hands clean. We out of here.